Welcome everyone. Today's practice is going to focus on our sacral chakra, right? So it's orange in color. It sits between the top of our pubic bone and our navel. So it sits right here between our hips. It governs our creativity. It governs our emotions, and the element is water, right? So we're going to focus on that today. So I'd like to start in child's pose, taking the knees wide. If you like, you can also keep the legs together if that's how you like your child's pose. We sink forward, connecting the forehead to something. So it's on the mat or it's on a block. Oh, and you'll need a set of blocks for this practice today. Right. So coming into our breath, right? Inhaling, exhaling through the nose. Right, our Ujjayi breathing. And if that's a challenge for you, take the inhale through the nose and you can exhale through the mouth. Right. And while we're in our child's pose, we're going to take that left arm, palm up. You're going to thread it through the right arm and rest on the left side of your head. Opening up the back of that left shoulder. And then on your exhale, we'll take that left hand back to its place and go right over to the other side, right? So if the side of your head doesn't reach the mat, you just put a block or a pillow there. On your next exhale, we'll come back to child's pose. Right, we'll walk our hands over to the left side of our mat, finding that nice lateral stretch on the right side of our body from the right hip, up along the side of your body into your shoulder. On your next exhale, we'll come back to our child's pose. This is just to reset. Right, we pause here for a round of breath, which is an inhale, exhale. I'll say that a lot in the practice today. Right, and then we move our hands over to the right side. And coming back on that exhale, back to our child's pose. On the inhale, we'll come back up to tabletop. So draw the knees underneath your hips, right? We connect the whole hand. So it's the heel of the hand, the knuckles, and the fingertips. Please don't dump all your weight into the heel of your hand, right? Because that's where our carpal tunnels lives, right? So we start from the tailbone. You're going to start to tuck in under, roll up the spine, start to spread the shoulders away from the spine, tuck your chin. This is our cat. Your inhale, you come back to a neutral spine. Now, if your body allows you this movement, we drop the belly towards the mat as the gaze goes forward, right? You don't need to look up, I'm just going to go forward. And then finding a rhythm here. So the exhale is your cat. The inhale is a neutral spine or your cow, and we'll do two more, right? And anything that we're doing on our hands, right? You want the eye of your elbow, that elbow crease, to be in line with your thumb, not rotated forward, right? If you're hypermobile, like I am. On that last round, we'll pause in this tabletop. Walk your hands to your knees. We're going to come up. So I'm going to grab my block, right? You're going to come up on your toes, right? My baby toe doesn't quite make it to the mat, but that's okay. And then you're going to sit back, hips to heels. So we're going to try to sit back just like this. Now, this doesn't work for everybody's knees, okay? Because this is taking your knees into full flexion. So if you're one of those people, you can take a block or a pillow, put it between your hamstrings and your calves. So this is gentler on the knees, but it's going to be a big stretch for the bottom of the feet. Right. And then while we're here, let's bring our fingertips together and then open. Draw the shoulder blades towards the spine. And then exhale, you can spread the shoulder blades and bring the fingertips together. And we'll do that 3 more times. On that last round, our fingertips will meet, right? We'll bring the elbows into the rib cage. We'll bring the hands to heart center. 1 more round of breath with our feet, right? And after that exhale, we'll inhale to lift the hips off. And then one at a time, flatten the top of your feet. Give them a little tap out the top of our feet. On our kneeling position, so please, I have a kneeling pad, right? If you need to pad your knees, right? That right leg is going to come forward. We rotate the left hip. We're in our low lunge position, right? Arms can stay here. Arms can frame the ears. And we're just finding some movement here. So you're just going to rock forward and back. Now, this is up to you, right? If you don't have any knee issues, you maybe sink that left hip behind the left knee. That's up to you. Right? We're not dumping into the lower back. You're not coming into a back bend. You're going to keep that pelvis nice and neutral. We'll do 2 more. Right, we'll pause here in this low lunge, taking the right hand onto the right leg. Reach that left arm up. So the left arm is framing the ear. And then you press your right hand into that right leg. And you're reaching the left fingertips up towards the ceiling, or you can reach it over and find a little lateral stretch. Personally, I get more if I reach my left fingertips up on this side, right? So you're pressing into that right leg, you're reaching the left fingertips up towards the ceiling or over towards the right side, right? For 1 more round of breath. And then on that exhale, we'll start to shift that left hip over the left knee, take the right leg back, and we're going to go over to the other side, right? So we rotate the right hip, we start to sink it forward, and then you're just going to move back and forth. So this side's going to be different than the other side, right? Maybe you want to shift it back, and I'll show you, like some people like to go all the way back. That's up to you. I'm going to stay with this right now. We'll do 2 more. And then pausing here, right? The left hand goes onto the left thigh. So we're not on the knee joint. We're in the middle of the leg. We'll inhale that right arm up. Press into your leg. Reach right fingertips up. Now, on this side, I like to take it over. So that big stretch, right? All those hip flexor muscles. It's not just your psoas, it's your TFL. You've got all these muscles in the front of the leg that help flex your hip. On your next inhale, we'll release that left arm to frame the left ear. We'll shift that right hip over the right knee. Take that left leg back. Find a child's pose. Blocks go to the top of your mat. And we'll come right into our child's pose. Come back to your breath. Right, so setting our intention for our practice today. If you are feeling unbalanced in your creativity or your emotions are all over the place, like how do we balance that? Right, by getting grounded. Right? Going for a walk, doing a yoga practice, right? Those things will help you level out that sacral chakra. On your inhale, let's come to tabletop. Exhale, let's tuck the toes. So as we push the mat away, we lift the hips, ears between the arms, and we come up on the balls of our feet, spreading the toes. So our down dog. I always bend my knees a little bit, especially for the first one. And then we'll bend the right knee, extend the left heel towards the back of the mat. Again, right, strong arms, eye of the elbows are in line with the thumbs, and then switch sides. Now, if your heel doesn't meet the mat, that's okay. And we'll find a rhythm for 4 more. And 1. Beautiful. So we're on the balls of the feet. We're lifting the heels, right? And then we'll inhale, take that right leg up for our 3-legged dog. On your exhale, we shift the shoulders over the wrists and we draw the right foot to the top of the mat. So we're in our runner's lunge. Right knee's over the ankle. You're pressing through the ball of that back foot. Find your blocks. So we're going to do a little cat-cow here. So this is a big hamstring stretch for the front of the leg. So you don't have to extend. You extend the leg as much as you like. On the exhale, we extend the right leg, spread the shoulder blades, tuck your chin. There's your cat. Your inhale, you bring that right knee back over the ankle. Gaze goes down, or maybe you can take your gaze forward and find 3 more. Right, so we exhale into that cat, extending the leg. The inhale, we bring that knee back over the ankle. Shift the gaze forward. 1 more. Right, pausing here, taking the left hand onto the mat. I'm just going to scooch around so you can see what I'm doing. So it's a little lizard prep, right? And that left knee can always go down to the mat. You can always bring it down if you're fatiguing or you just want a little break from that. Take the right arm on the inside. So it's not going to reach the mat. That's not the goal. Right? Getting a big stretch in the groin in that right leg. 1 more round of breath here. And then the inhale, we sweep the right arm up. Fingertips go up towards the ceiling. Right? We're pressing through that whole hand. The left hand, you're drawing that left heel towards the back of the mat, or maybe the left knee is down. On your next exhale, we'll bring that right hand down to frame the right foot. We take the left foot up to meet the right. We're at the top of our mat. Inhale, come to this halfway lift. Extend the legs, shoulder blades towards the spine. Exhale as you find your fold. Maybe you need to soften your knees. Inhale, we're going to rise up. I'm just going to come up. Fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, we're going to soften the knees, plant the palms, step back. And you lower down in half a full plank. Flatten the top of the feet. Tuck the chin, come into your cobra. And then the exhale, we come into our child's pose. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, we take the left leg up. On your exhale, we shift the shoulders over the wrists and bring that left foot forward. Right, into our runner's lunge. And this is our cat-cow on this side. I love a block, right? Why not? So on your exhale, lengthen out that left leg, spread the shoulder blades, tuck your chin. Your inhale, we draw that left knee over the left ankle, gazes down or forward. And we'll do 3 more. Right, so don't feel like that front leg has to be extended all the way. Like those, listen to your hamstrings. They will talk to you. We don't want to overstretch. So when you get to that 4th round, you'll keep the gaze down. Right hand goes onto the block or the mat. And then we take the left arm in. Same thing we did. And again, like if you take that right leg and rest it, please do. Right? On your next inhale, we'll sweep those left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Find our runner's lunge with a twist. On your next exhale, that left hand comes down to frame the left foot. We take the right foot up to meet the left. Inhale halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, we're going to rise up. Exhale and fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, plant the palms, step back. Right, we lower all the way to the mat. We're going to pause here, flatten the top of your feet. Right, so we stack, maybe rest the forehead on a block, or you stack your forehead onto your left hand. We bend the right knee. Reach around, you're going to hold on to the top of that right ankle or the foot. Gently draw that right shoulder blade towards the spine, and then we press the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. So you're getting a big quad stretch here. Right, so keep pushing that ankle or foot into the hand into the foot. 2 more rounds of breath. And on that second exhale, we release that leg and we go right over to the other side. Right, and if this is, if you need a strap or you don't have a strap, you can put a towel around your ankle and hold on to the ends of the towel. Right, especially if you have knee issues going on. Keep pressing. 2 more rounds of breath. And on that second exhale, you can release. Bring your hands by your shoulders. We press back to child's pose. So we're going to come into some standing work. On your inhale, come to your tabletop. Exhale, let's find that down dog. On your inhale, take the right leg up. And we'll exhale, bring it through. All right, we're going to draw up so you can walk up, or you can use your inhale to bring the arms up to frame the ear. So we're in crescent warrior. Right leg is forward. And then that left hip is rotated, right? So we rotate that. Maybe you bend that back knee. So we've got a nice neutral spine. I'm not in a back bend. I'm going to tuck it under, right? I want to get that stretch right here. Arms frame the ears. Now this is our add-on. So if this doesn't speak to you, just stay in the pose. But on your exhale, right, we pull the belly in, we hinge forward. Your inhale, we sweep it back. So we focus on that breath, right? We exhale as we come into our hinge. The inhale, we bring it back. So the shoulders come over the hips, right? We keep the lower back nice and neutral. One more. It's wobbly. You might fall out. If you fall out, you come back. Right? We find our crescent warrior. We find our gaze forward. And then on your next exhale, we connect that left heel and we come into our warrior two. Right? So from the back, hips are over the shoulders. That right knee is over the right ankle. You can see the inside of your right foot. And then we float the arms up. Right? Take that right thumb up towards the ceiling. And then on your inhale, it's the arm and your gaze. So your gaze is going to follow the heart. Right? And then your exhale, you come back to warrior two. Your inhale, we come back to peaceful warrior. Exhale to warrior two. Can you straighten out that leg? Anytime, that front leg, if you need to. We've got one more round. And then we'll come back, we'll find this warrior two. Nice and strong. Rotate the palms up, open the heart. Externally rotate the shoulders. On your next inhale, we lengthen out that right leg. Left hand goes to your left hamstrings, and we reach the right arm. Right? So see how that left shoulder, we don't hike it up. Right? We're wrapping the left fingertips around that left leg. Your exhale, come back to warrior two. And then we'll bring the hands down. To frame that right foot, pivot on the left toes. Team, we're going to go right into standing split. So the hands are going to go in front of the toes. As you lift that left leg and extend the right leg, we bring the crown of our head towards the mat. So you can have blocks for this if you're really tight in the hamstrings, because you don't want the heel lifting off, right? You want to keep that heel connected, but you can put your hands on blocks if you want them. That left hip stays rotated towards the floor. And then on your next exhale, we take that left foot to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Right? Use that inhale to rise up, draw that energy up from your feet. Come all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back. Right? And you can do this on half plank too. Right? You lower down. The inhale, come up to your cobra. Exhale, right into down dog. Right? Set up the stability first. And then the inhale, we take the left leg up. We exhale, shoulders over wrists as we draw the left foot forward and rise up. Come right up to your crescent warrior. On your exhale, here's our hinge. Your inhale, sweep the fingertips up, right? 3 more. And you can follow my breath, or you can follow the rhythm of your own breath. And we pause here. On your next exhale, connect that right heel and come into your warrior 2 on this side. All right, so if you're pinchy in your hip, and you don't have a mirror to look at, you're probably in running man. So we're going to draw those shoulders over the hips, right? Left thumb goes up towards the ceiling. On your inhale, left fingertips to the ceiling, gaze follows the heart. Your exhale, we come back to warrior 2. Inhale, peaceful warrior. 2 more. We'll meet in our warrior 2. We'll rotate both palms up to face the ceiling. And then on your inhale, lengthen out that left leg, right hand goes to the hamstring to reach the left fingertips back. Next exhale, we come back to warrior 2. We're going to bring our hands to our hips and we're going to scooch around, so we're going to get long on our mats, right? So we look down. Let's extend our legs first, right? We're going to come into goddess. So as you squat down, you want to be able to see the inside of your feet. If your knees are coming in, you're going to move your feet around and find that sweet spot for yourself. Right, so we sink down, we goalpost our arms. On your inhale, we come up, 5-pointed star. Your exhale, I like to tuck my chin, right? Sink down as low as you can go. The inhale, you come back up. 2 more. Right, we'll meet here in this 5-pointed star. We'll shift around. We're going to come back to warrior 2 on our left side. Right, so left foot is forward. Right, your next exhale, the hands come down to frame your left foot. We pivot on the right toes. We have a standing split on this side. Right, so blocks if you want them. As you extend the left leg, we'll reach that right leg up, and then you try to get your gaze. So that right butt cheek is turned on. Right, you're contracting those muscles. That leg is strong, it's active. See if you can get your gaze, if you're looking at your toes, see if you can get your gaze to go to your shin. We have 2 more rounds of breath. And on that second exhale, take that right foot to meet the left. Inhale, come to a halfway lift. Exhale, team, and fold. Inhale, we're going to rise. And then we're going to go right back into our fold. So the exhale, we come into the fold. Right? And then I like to take a block between my big toes. My left hand goes onto the block. I extend my right leg and bend the left. And then your inhale, we sweep the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Spread those fingers. So we're getting a nice stretch in the outside of that right hip. And sometimes you have to move forward and back just to find your sweet spot. Where's my gaze? You can look at the right hand, you can follow the heart, or you can look down. On your next exhale, let's soften that right knee as we take the right hand down. We'll switch sides, extending the left leg, bending the right. Inhale, and coming into your twist on this side. So we're spreading the fingers of that left hand. So, on this side, I don't like looking up, so I'm following the heart, right? Because I'm a little restricted on this shoulder. And that's what's going to happen, right? We're just working on it. On your next exhale, soften that left knee. Bring the left hand down. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, let's rise up. Come on up. Nice and tall. Bring your hands to heart center. So we're going to just regroup for one moment, right? Come into your mountain pose, close the eyes. Come back to that orange color, come back to your sacral chakra, right? So sometimes, the ocean is flat as glass, and sometimes it's stormy, right? So it's finding that middle of ground, right, for our emotions, for our creativity, right? So finding that balance, right? Grounding ourselves, connecting to the earth, connecting to ourselves, connecting to other people, right? So we are going to transition from mountain pose to warrior one. So the right foot's forward, and we take the left foot back, right? You do not have to line your heels up. That's textbook setup. If you can do that, that's great. I like to take my back heel a little wider. Right knee comes over that right ankle, and I'm anchoring the outside arch of that back foot. It's at a 45-degree angle as much as I can. And then I'm going to lift the arms up and come right into my warrior one. Now, if this is really pinchy anywhere in your hips, you can do a warrior 1.5 where you open up to the left side, left corner of your mat. That's up to you. So we're in our warrior one, we're reaching those fingertips, anchoring the 3 points of our feet. 2 more rounds of breath. And on your second exhale, we'll bring the hands down to frame, just on the inside of that right foot, right? We're going to pivot around, get long on your mat, right? So you're going to toe heel your feet. We're long on our mat. And then you're going to bend the left knee, take that left hip towards the left heel, and extend the right leg. And then we'll extend both legs and bend the right knee, right hip towards the heel, extend the left leg, and find a rhythm here. So we're just getting into our inner thighs, right? Hands on the mat, right? If you want to, you can float the arms up and do airplane arms. That's up to you. But since we're doing a grounding practice today, I'm going to keep my hands on the mat. So the next time you find yourself with your right knee bent and your left leg extended, we'll pivot towards the top of the mat. But this time we're going to put our hands in between. on the inside of that right foot. And you can toe heel that right foot out a little bit, right? We draw through that left heel and then taking the left knee down, flattening the top of the foot. Right? And then we're in lizard pose. So maybe your wrists are under the shoulders, and that's where you want to be today. I love blocks, right? So I have thick blocks today. So I'm just going to bring my forearms down, but you can do it you know, you can come up to level 3. You can be on level 1. I'm just going to stack my blocks today and take my elbows right under my shoulders and not drop my head down. So keeping the neck in line with the rest of your spine, hugging that right leg in towards the rib cage, and then we're gently pressing that top of that left foot right into the mat. So we're really strong in our lizard pose. We have 3 more rounds of breath. Keep hugging, keep pressing the top of the foot. On that third exhale, wherever you are, you can bring the hands down, right? I take my blocks over to the side. You're going to start to shift that left hip over the left knee. Pad the left knee if you would like to do that. And then we extend the right leg out. Now, you don't want that right hip in front of the left. You don't want to get longer and torque the back. So you can take your thumb, put it into the hip crease, draw that hip back, right? And then we tuck the chin. It's a slight rotation over that right leg. So I know I do have a little roundness in my back. I know that. So I'm super tight here. But I'm not like collapsing over my leg. Now, the other thing we can add on, if you're game, is to do a little beauty queen wave, right? This isn't for everyone. If you have hip issues, please, like if you've got any injuries or tears in your hips, please don't do this one. But my foot is gently flexed, or sciatic, don't do this one. And we're just going side to side, externally rotating the top of our thigh bone, our femur. So 1 more to each side, right? And on your inhale, you'll bring your shoulders up. We gently draw that right foot back, that right leg back. Come into your child's pose. Reset. And then on your inhale, tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, come into down dog. Right, we'll bend the knees, we'll come up on the balls of our feet, lift the heels. On your exhale, we travel to the top. Little steps or float to the top of the mat. Your inhale is a halfway lift. The exhale to fold. Inhale, let's rise, team. Let's come on up, we're going to do the other side. Right, so hands to heart center. So I'm going to show you from this angle. We step the right foot back for our warrior 1. Right, again. I don't have my feet, my heels are not in line with one another, right? I connect the 3 points of my feet, and that's it. My left hip is here, my right hip is here, it's fine. And then I bring the arms up to frame the ears. Again, if this is uncomfortable, you open up to the right-hand side of the mat, and that's warrior 1.5, which is where I started with this pose. And then I've transitioned here. Two more rounds of breath. And on your second exhale, we're going to take our hands down on the inside of that left foot. We're going to pivot, like toe heel of the feet. You're going to get long on your mat. Bend the right knee, extend the left leg. And we're going to move side to side. We do have a little add-on for our retreating warrior, which is what this pose is called, right? So we'll come into this position where both legs are extended. And then the left hand is going to go under the nose, right? So we've got nice strong legs, lifting the inner arches of our feet. Your inhale, take the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then your exhale, we bring the right hand down, and we inhale the left fingertips up. And we'll do 3 more rounds. Right, so the inhale, we find this twist. The exhale, the hand comes down and we switch sides. Right, if you're following me, we have one more round. And then we'll bring both hands are connected to the mat. Rebend that right knee. Take the right hip towards the right heel. Get that big stretch. And then we'll come back to both legs extended. Rebend the left knee. Extend the right leg. Pivot around to the top of your mat. And here we are in lizard pose, right? So left knee is over the left ankle. We're drawing that right heel towards the back of the mat. And then you can bring that left knee down. I'm sorry, right knee. Right leg is back, right? So padding again if you need it. This mat is 8 millimeters, so it's very thick. It's very supportive, right? And then you have to figure out, do you want to stay in your hands or do you want to come onto your blocks? So I'm going to do my blocks again. And I'm keeping the elbows under the shoulders as much as I can, hugging that left leg in, and then pressing, this is the game changer here, is pressing the top of that right foot into the mat. The stretch in my hip flexors right now is really nice. There's no discomfort in my lower back. And then I'm just looking down. So I'm not dropping the chin. I'm keeping my neck as neutral as I can. And we come back to breath. Right? We come back to our intention, finding balance. It's not easy. It's not easy doing that. It's one of my struggles. We have 3 more rounds of breath. On your third exhale, right, we'll come back onto the hands. We'll start to shift that right hip over the right knee. I need my blocks for this. This is Hanumana Asana, splits, but this is a half Hanumana Asana. Left thumb into the left hip crease, just draw it back so that we're very neutral, right? Slight little rotation over that left leg. Toes are neutral or flexed. That depends on the health of your hips and your hamstrings. And then if you want to do this little beauty queen wave, right? So your sciatic nerve starts at your lower back and it runs all the way down your leg to the top of the big toe and the little toe. So if you have sciatic and then you're flexing your feet, you're really overstretching that nerve. So that's why I always say like a neutral toes if you have any sciatic issues. We'll do one more to each side. And then on your next inhale, we'll bring the shoulders up. We'll tuck that left leg back. And then we'll come right into our child's pose. Right. Connecting our forehead. On your inhale, let's come to tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, come into down dog. Your inhale will take those right toes up towards the ceiling. Your exhale, bring that right foot forward. Inhale, rise, come on up to your crescent warrior. And we pause here. Then we're going to take that left heel, connect it into warrior 2. Have a block handy. So we're in a warrior 2. We rotate the palms up. The inhale, sweep it back, come into your reverse triangle, right? And then your exhale, we come back to warrior 2 because we want to do half moon. I know. So if this is a daunting pose for you, go against the wall and let the wall support you. So I like a block. I take the block not next to the foot, but the block goes out to the side so that when you come up, right, you take the left foot in step to the right ankle. And then as you extend that right leg, lift that left foot out to the side. Use your butt muscles, right? We just stretched all of those. We're going to strengthen. And then you can start to stack your hip, right? That right knee is forward. If that right heel is kicking out, you need to come back down and reset that. Oops. And the gaze can be down or shifting it to follow the heart. That's a game changer. That sometimes will force you to fall out of it, and that's okay. 2 more rounds of breath. And on your second exhale, you'll start to soften that right knee as you take the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, come to your halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up. Come on up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the palms, step back. And then we lower down in half or full. The inhale finds a cobra. Exhale into down dog. Inhale, take the left toes up. Our exhale, we bring the left foot forward. Inhale, rise. So crescent warrior is our transition pose. And then we'll exhale, connect that right heel, find warrior two. Right. Rotate the palms up and find your reverse triangle. And then exhale, we come back. I'm going to come back to warrior two. I'm going to grab my block. Right? I'm going to take that block out to the side. Right foot connects with the left ankle. As I extend my left leg, I call this my matrix kick. And then I stack the right hip on top of the left. The arms up, right? So that block out to the side is going to give me so much more leverage. We're lifting that right leg. We're breathing, pulling the belly in on the exhale. See if you can shift the gaze to follow the heart. 2 more rounds of breath. And on that second exhale, we soften that left knee. We bring the right foot to meet the left. Come into your fold. Connect your opposite forearms or elbows. Maybe the knees are soft. We're finding ragdoll. So I like to take my forearms over the crown of my head. You can sway side to side. I like to just pause. So it's up to you. Right? If you're swaying side to side, let's do 1 more to each side, and we'll all meet here in the middle. And then you can exhale, bring the fingertips in front of the toes. Inhale, come to your halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, let's rise. Come on up. And then bring the hands to heart center. So we're going to get on the ground. I'm going to do a couple things here. So, seated butterfly pose. Connecting the outside arches of your feet. You do not have to bring the big toes together, right? Now, this is traditionally taught, just watch my knees. We bring the heels in towards our body. Look how high my knees are. Am I getting a stretch in my inner thighs? Absolutely not, right? So I take my feet back out where they were. My hands come behind me. Fingertips face in if you can do that, or they go out. I draw my shoulder blades towards the spine. Lift my hips up and bring my hips towards my heels. And you can shift your hands around a little bit. Just keeping the shoulder blades towards the spine and drawing the knees down. Look how much lower I am. And I'm getting a nice stretch in my inner thighs because my spine is neutral and not in a posterior tilt. So this was a big one for me because I really love this pose now, right? We're going to hold for 2 more rounds of breath. And on that second exhale, we'll just bring the feet wide, knees connect. I'm going to switch my fingers so they're pointing out. And I'm just going to do a little windshield wiping side to side. One more time to each side. Right. And we're going to come onto our back. So I'm going to hold onto my hamstrings and just roll it back. Rest the head. Get your hair clip out of the way if you need to. Right. So paused here. Going to take your left heel to the mat and you're going to slide the left leg out. Just scooching back. I just want to make sure my whole body is supported by my mat. And then hands to the shin or the hamstrings. You're going to take that right knee to the outside. To the armpit. So we're not drawing it in towards the heart. We're trying to get the inside, our inner thigh on that right leg to frame our rib cage. If you have knee issues, please hold on to the hamstrings, the back of the thigh, because holding onto the shin puts your knee in full flexion. Gaze is up. On your next exhale, we'll start to rebend that left leg. Left foot comes off the mat, both feet are off the ground, right? And then we're going to switch sides. So we take the right heel, we slide it out. And then the left knee lines up with that left armpit. So this is a play on happy baby. So we're getting a nice stretch in the front of that right hip. On your next exhale, we'll start to rebend that right leg. And then so both feet are off the ground, right? And then extend, one leg at a time comes to the mat. We're going to extend both legs out. So we're going into banana asana. So we're going to make a banana shape, basically, right? So the right leg is going to go out to the side. So the right leg is going to be outside the hip, and then the left leg is going to follow. And then we're going to just do a little shimmy with our shoulders and take our arms over to the side. So this is banana asana, right? Really important that left hip stays on the ground. Some people's shoulders come off because you're just tight there. If that's happening, you can put a pillow or a blanket under there to support them. If you would like to try to cross the left ankle over the right, right? And we're paused in this pose. Two more rounds of breath. And when you arrive at that second exhale, if your ankles are crossed, you can take them apart. We bring the legs back under the hips. We bring the shoulders back. Do a full body stretch, right? We'll come back to a neutral place. And then we'll go over to the other side. So we take the left leg out, past the hip, the right leg follows, and then you just bring your shoulders over to the side, right? And palms are up. Please try to keep that right hip connected as you take the right ankle. So I actually have to back it off a little bit, and you can cross that ankle. So for me, crossing the ankle on this side isn't going to work. So I'm just going to keep both heels on the ground. It's a bigger stretch for me without crossing the ankle, right? So we're getting into right outside that IT band, like right on the outside in the front. We have 2 more rounds of breath. And on your second exhale, we'll bring the legs back. We'll bring the shoulders back. We'll bend one knee at a time. Coming into our figure 4. Just want to get a little outside hip, right? So that right ankle goes on top. So the ankle is above the knee. We're never joint on joint, right? We rest the head, trying to keep that left knee in line with the left hip. If you would like to thread through and it brings your shoulders and head off the mat, please don't do that, right? Because now this is stressed, trying to hold on, trying to get that stretch in that right. So if you really want to thread through, just put something under your head and be comfortable. Right? That left foot can go on a piece of furniture if you want more leverage, right? But we're stretching out little muscles, like we're getting into that piriformis, so we're just going to be mindful, right? That muscle internally rotates, I'm sorry, not externally, internally rotates. So on your next exhale, we'll take that left foot down, release the right, switch sides. Left ankle on the right leg, we take the right foot off the mat. If you want to thread through, you can thread through. Right, trying to keep, so in the event that right knee starts to go in and it's not in line with the right hip, back the pose off. Right, that's where a piece of furniture is really handy. You want to keep that right knee as much as we can in line with the right hip. Team, we have one more round of breath. And then we're going to let that go, right? Actually, keep the feet off the mat. Palms over the hands, come on top of the knees. We're going to make 4 knee circles in one direction. And then go the other way. If you have a block under your head, you can take it out. Right, we'll take one leg at a time up towards the ceiling for our restorative shoulder stand. I like Shavasana, snow angel arms, palms up, but the hands can also rest on the torso as well. I always do a little ankle rotation here. Right, our ankles and wrists take a beating, so if you need to do a little rotation, please feel free. Gaze stays up. We don't look side to side in this pose. Protecting our neck. We'll take 2 more rounds of breath. And on that second exhale, we'll bend one knee at a time. And then 1 foot at a time comes back to the mat. And we're going to set up for a Shavasana. So you can extend the legs. Right. See how that feels on the lower back. If it does not feel good on the lower back, rebend your knees for me. Right. Before we close our practice, taking our fingertips, just resting them palm down on the inside of our hips, tapping into that sacral chakra. Right, so that's our pleasure center as well, right? So that's why it's so important to have balance there. Because staying up all night and getting up early and then going about your day, that's not going to work if you do that every day, right? You have to find balance. Walking in nature, meeting a friend, doing a yoga practice, right? Visualizing that beautiful, happy orange color. Letting go of our Ujjayi breathing. Coming back to that regular breath. We're going to slowly start to come out of our Shavasana. If you want to stay longer, please feel free. Right. So bringing some gentle movement back to the body. A no nod, opening and closing the fingers, rotating wrists and ankles, right? And then when you're ready to draw the knees in towards your chest, please find your way over to your right side. And pressing into the left hand to come up to a seat. Right, so I'm sitting in Thunderbolt with hips to heels, but you can sit with ankles crossed. Right, and we'll take our hands together in prayer, taking our thumbs to the center of our forehead as we find a bow of gratitude and say namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.